From the Philippine Air Force.
QR code, you can find out more information about it. Even if you were to go around on your own, kahit walang tour guide, there should be lalabas yung website namin na makikita yung information tungkol sa site na makikita ninyo. So this is the Chinese garden that we're about to enter. This was one of the first projects of Imelda Marcos in the late 60s. 1967, she, with the help of the Republic of China, or Taiwan, built this garden in Luneta. So at that time, the Philippines recognized Taiwan as the China. And up until 1970, I think 1972, we stopped recognizing ROC and started recognizing PRC. So this was all built by Taiwanese money, Taiwanese funding. Even the landscape architect and designers were all Taiwanese. And during the change in recognition of China to PRC, pinatanggal yung mga plaka na that said that mentioned ROC. So there's a little bit of a political, situation that happened here, but we just call it Chinese Garden today. And the current PRC holds events here. We held an exhibition a few months ago. The Filipino-Chinese community, Anvil, has donated many things and hosts events here, and the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce also does regular events here as well. So come walk inside.
Yun. Nice.
So this used to be covered up, but we started taking down the bamboo to make it more open. We have a rainwater harvesting system as well from the rooftop, and going back down to recycle a lot of the water that we use. So that's something that we're constantly trying to improve, yung rainwater harvesting natin dito sa park. Hindi lang sa so all the restrooms. From 1967, the bridge, the pavilion. This pavilion was inspired by the Summer Palace in Beijing. So if you've been to Beijing, you'll see a lot of the same elements, design, and architecture from the Summer Palace of the imperial family. The golden dragon. So tomorrow's conference, if you're attending tomorrow's conference, this is where we will have our lunch. We will have a lunch here inside the pavilion. It's free, so dapat pumunta kayo rin bukas. We'll have our lunch here. Alright.
So ito ba yung open with the Lorio? Di ba? Yung
Ay,
open,
di ba?
Di pa, dun.
dito rin lunch tomorrow.
Ito lang yung lunch.
Buffet,
Lunch
sir.
break na
Chinese
yan.
buffet ba?
Or pack lunch.
buffet.
Buffet.
Sabot niya natin.
Pupunta ka lunchtime lang.
This is a statue of Confucius, donation by the Anvil, the Filipino-Chinese business community. So one of the great Chinese philosophers. You'll see a lot of Confucius quotes on the pillars of the pavilion, also provided by Anvil. Chinese proverbs, translated in Chinese, Pinyin, and in Filipino. So we'll go over here. You'll see this blue and white gated area.
Daming kalapate. So guys, your treat. The Japanese garden. Oh, may pusa na naman.
Before pandemic, we wanted them to before they can get the freedom to go out, they have to do something for the park. So we're now in the Japanese garden. This is donated by the government of Japan. Imelda Marcos supposedly begged the Prime Minister of Japan in 1969 for a Japanese garden, and the Japanese obliged. Kasi may Chinese garden, so why not have a Japanese garden? And so this developed in 1969 with the help of the government of Japan and also different corporations in Japan to fund this as a symbol of the friendship of Philippines and Japan. So it's been around for over 50 years. This whole pavilion, a lot of the structures here is still intact from 1969. This is what we call millionaire's vines. I think it's good luck. So maybe you'll become a millionaire.
You pass through.
This is now we are approaching our bamboo walk.
The bamboo.
We just cross this bridge. So you see here, there is a little shelter over there. No? There's a piece of stone over there that you could vaguely see, and it's a granite stone carved out of the image of Buddha. Why? Well, this was. Well, this was donated by Japan also in 1990. As a symbol of peace. So there were survivors of the Hiroshima bombing. They used these stones, which were the former base or the foundation of the train tracks in the city of Hiroshima. So they saved the stones, and then the survivors formed an organization together, and those guys carved out different stones with the image of Buddha using the train tracks. And then they donated them to different countries around the world as a symbol of peace and to prevent future nuclear warfare from happening again. So this has been here in Luneta since 1990. In 2020, 2 years ago, we celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Hiroshima Stone for Peace. Ang tawag natin dito. Hiroshima Stone for Peace. Why was there a Bagumbayan church here? Well, there was a Bagumbayan town or village just outside the walls of Intramuros. So there was a village here and there was a church. What was significant inside that church? The Black Nazarene from Ating Nazareno was first housed here in the Bagumbayan church. And then when they demolished the town or they asked the Bagumbayan town to be no longer in existence here, and I'll get into that later, they moved the Nazareno inside Intramuros to the San Nicolas Church, no? And then while it was at San Nicolas Church, they requested for a second Black Nazarene, and so there were 2 Black Nazarenes in Manila up until World War II. One in Intramuros in San Nicolas and one in Quiapo. keep going. So yung Nazareno na nasa Intramuros, ang tawag nila Nazareno ng mayaman. Yung nasa Quiapo, tawag nila Nazareno ng mahirap. So World War II, we had two. And then the bombing or the Battle of Manila happened. San Nicolas was destroyed at nawala yung isang Nazareno, yung original, yung Nazareno ng mayaman yung nawala. So yung natitira na lang ay yung Nazareno ng mahirap. And so, that Nazarene is actually also, I guess, taken into split into three different pieces today, at least from what we know. Because we host the Translation every year in the Grandstand. Kaya nagsisimula siya dito. Translation in Spanish is like a movement or the movement, no? That's why it starts from here and ends up in Quiapo. So we have the movement or the parade of the Black Nazarene at Quiapo Church. So that Black Nazarene has been split into three different pieces. So you never lose a piece. We have one in Trina Grandstand during Translation. The one in a float that they move around, and one back up in one of the secret rooms in Trina Grandstand. Just in case may mangyari sa dalawa. We always have a backup or a piece of the original. You know? So that's the story behind the Nazareno. So hindi po siya Japanese. It had nothing to do with Japan. It just so happens that the monument is here kasi dito sila in-execute. Jose Rizal was in Japan en route to Europe, and he met a Japanese girl named Osei San. And this is supposedly like fictionalized inspiration. 6 weeks long. He was staying at the Spanish legation in Tokyo, and he would always see this Japanese girl walk by, and eventually they started talking, they developed a thing.
Ay, akala ko yung asin eh. No, air.
Open air auditorium.
Water. Open air.
So we have water here for you, if you guys want more water.